And we are back with the funky music.
I
Real
like
estate.
it.
We're going to be talking realtors, escrow, and mortgage.
Oh my.
There's your oh my.
There you
I
go.
can't see you, so I can't see you, so I can't tell when your
You could
oh my's going to come.
you could log into the Facebook and watch it.
That's true. The Facebook, is that like the
The Facebook.
the Instagram or the Twitter?
No,
Is
it's
this
just
it?
the Facebook.
Well, we got a pretty good show coming today, don't we?
Yes.
I hope so. Today we're going to be well. First, before we do anything, I know you had a very busy week. You were running all over the place. You had your movie night last Monday. You
Yeah.
got stuff going on yesterday.
Yeah.
What's happening in the world of Rebecca?
It's just busy. It's that time of the year where I'm up and out the door early and not home till late at night, showing houses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
are you showing multiple houses to the same buyers, or is it more like kind of spread out with a bunch of different people?
No, it's multiple houses, multiple buyers.
Okay, yeah, because I remember, before all this, kind of where we are now, it was to the point where you might take one person to 20 houses because they couldn't find what they wanted, and
Just depends on the
we're
day.
starting to see we're starting to see a little bit of the inventory coming back slowly. I think that. What do
Slowly.
you feel? You thinking we're seeing the same thing?
Yeah.
You seeing that kind of a little bit more?
Slowly
Good.
but
Well,
surely.
that's good.
Houses
for
are
buyers.
sitting longer. Yep.
Mhm. But it's also still good for sellers, wouldn't you say? I wouldn't say that sellers are losing out on anything right now.
No, it's still a seller's market. It's just more normal. you
Yeah.
know.
I mean, back to what we would consider normal.
Back to what we're used to instead of the
I don't think there's
frenzy.
much normal around here.
Nope, not.
So I wanted to today in today's show, there's some things you're going to be covering and some things I'm going to be covering. But one of the things I think both of us at this point would agree heavily on is the importance of being prepared with not only a pre-approval, which is not a commitment to lend, and also being prepared selling your home in this market,
Absolutely.
especially,
Yeah.
right? Because, I mean, there's so many different things that people need to be aware of. And one of the things I've been telling my clients lately is before you do anything, I don't care if you're buying your first home, your 10th home, an investment property, before you look at anything, talk to a realtor or anything, call me at 503-967-5257. And the reason I say that is you need to see where you're at, what you think, what range of homes you can look at, what the price range is, what you're going to need to be pre-approved, which is not a commitment to lend. And also, in the case of a seller, they've got to have their home ready, or at least start thinking about it. So they need to meet with you first, right away, right?
Right away. In fact, that's a good point. I was just showing property out in Scio today, and my poor buyers were like, it's going to take them 3 years to move out of this place. So that was a huge turnoff because there's just
Yeah.
so much stuff
I
everywhere.
just saw one that came to me, and excuse me, they were actually looking at selling. I saw the pictures that I couldn't even believe the realtor put this up for listing. They had listed it already. There was so much junk in the house.
Yeah.
It was like, I mean,
That's terrible.
it is. And I just, why would you want to show your house like that? I mean, take the time to prepare, get things ready.
Yep.
And like you've always said, want to make sure that the yard looks good, like with the new bark and the flowers. And,
Yeah, you've got that
that takes
one
time.
shot to make that first impression, and it starts on the outside.
And we're heading into the summer months, which typically is the buying months, right?
Yes, we are in the buying
School's
time. Yep.
School's out in a couple weeks, or some of them are even now, or maybe a little later. But that's generally, in my experience, when we see families. It's a lot easier to go look at houses when you don't have to worry about kids in school and daycare and all
Yes.
that. So.
Yep. Yes.
So one of the things I was going to talk about today, and this comes out, I had a call the other day. Somebody had just called me and asked me if refinancing was still a smart option at this point.
Yeah, is it? I mean, rates are higher.
Well, yes, it is a smart option, but it also depends on the goals that you have. So if you're talking to a loan officer, this would be one of my Darren Dastardly Dozens, I guess. That would be number 7. If you're talking to a loan officer about refinancing in a market like we have today, maybe you've got a very low rate right now, but you're kind of wanting to take cash out. You need to talk to that loan officer, tell them what your goals are. If they're not asking you what your goals are, what you're trying to accomplish, and they're just quoting rates to you over the phone, that's not good. They need to know what you're planning on doing. How long are you going to be in the house? Are you open to looking at different products like an adjustable rate mortgage or 30-year fixed or 15-year fixed, your loan officer needs to know all those things so that they can find what program's going to fit best for you. So like you and I always say, focus on the payment, right?
Right. If someone wants to refinance their house, can they pull equity out, and what can they do? Is there like a limitation on how much equity they can pull out? Is there a limit on what they can do with that money if they do pull it out? Are there rules, I guess, is the question.
Funny you should ask that, Rebecca.
Is it
because
funny?
I'm prepared to answer. Yes. So I'll tell you something too, and we'll get to 1 second. We'll talk about investor loans, like how much you have to put down. But yes, you can take equity out of your home, and for some people who bought their home, say 3 years ago, there's probably quite a bit of equity in there, just because of what's been going on with the values, right? Like you and I were talking last week, it's in some areas it's gone up almost 20% or more.
Or more. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. I mean, you think you buy a $400,000 house, and a year later it's worth 480. That's a lot of money, right?
Yep.
So and this is where I would agree with some borrowers. I've had quite a few calling me lately. They're doing two things. This is what I'm seeing in Darren's world. Darren T.
Oh boy.
I
You
know.
have the worst dad's jokes, one-liners
Well, I've got
ever.
4 children. I have to be on the stick with all these kids. But my dad has been the master though. But I will say this, is that what I'm seeing a lot of is people are taking money out so they can pay off debt. And what I mean by debt is some of them are paying off student loans. Some of them are paying off high interest credit card debt, cars. They bought these high priced cars during the pandemic and the lockdown and stuff. And now they're saying, I just don't want this $1,000 a month payment. They want to pay it off. Or some people use their money to invest. It doesn't really matter what you're using your money for.
Right.
There's no rule that says, you can't take $100,000 out of your house so that you can do a new kitchen or backyard or whatever. So it's really up to you what you do with the money. But there are limits. Like, sometimes you can't do more than, say, 80% of your loan to value.
What's the difference between refinancing and a HELOC, home equity line of credit?
Well, a home equity line of credit is just that. It's a line of credit. When you're doing a refinance, say you're doing a typical 30-year fixed rate loan, and you're taking money out, that's one loan, and you have your payment is fixed, and that's it. You're taking that one time, you're taking that money out. On a home equity line of credit, if you were to go to, say, your local credit union or your bank or whatever, and you wanted to do that, you could, let's say you took out, $100,000, let's say, and you're using that for business, or you're doing something with that, but over a period of time, you pay it down, or you pay it all the way off. In most occasions, depending on which loan you're getting, you can borrow again with that.
Which is nice about a HELOC. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. And not everybody does them, though. I mean, you've got to make sure that, you find out, well, there are a lot of local banks will do that. And I think you and I were talking before, you can call a whole bunch of them. They're going to have all different terms and rates.
Yeah.
And how much you can take. And some of them will limit you to 50,000. Some will go to 100,000 or more. You just have to really do your research on that.
Right.
But and then a lot of people are also taking money out, and they're using that to buy, say, an investment property or a second home, like a rental, or maybe they want to buy a house on the beach and they live in Bend. Boy, wouldn't that be good? You live in Bend and you also have a house on the beach.
Rough life.
But anyway,
a house in the Hamptons.
Yeah, exactly. Well, with the kind of money we make, just kidding. I can't even afford an apartment. So. There's a lot of new programs coming out. Academy has a lot of new programs, which I'd be happy to go over with anybody. If they're even thinking about that, call me first.
Okay.
But there's some new 15 and 30-year fixed rate second homes, programs for that. They can do conforming or high balance loan amounts are now allowed when the high balance loan amounts used to not be allowed.
Interesting.
You can do 90% loan to value for a purchase. And refi transactions, which means you can get more money out if you aren't going to do a HELOC and you just want to do, a first loan. Or you can do, in some cases, you can do 75% loan to value for like cash out refis, which of course, every lender is different. Some of them will limit how much you can take and others will not, but it's almost always based on that loan to value. And what I mean by loan to value, for those of you who haven't been listening to us over all this time, it's the amount of money you owe versus what your balance versus what you were allowed to borrow. So let's say your house is $100,000 and a 75% LTV. would mean you could borrow $75,000, if that makes sense.
Yes, to me.
But also we're seeing a lot more, and I'm gonna turn this to you in a minute, is renting versus buying.
Yes.
Now anybody in this industry has talked about this or seen postcards or sent postcards out
Yep.
to try to get renters to understand the advantages of buying versus renting. And I want to ask you this, because I know as a realtor, you're going to know this one. Is now a good time to buy a house instead of renting?
It's always a good time to buy a house. Just ask Michael.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah. It's a good time to buy because, we're seeing those prices continue to creep, and it's more expensive now to rent than it is to have a mortgage, you know? So for those folks that are renting, it's important to know that a mortgage is a set monthly payment, right?
Right.
Doesn't matter. Change. It doesn't change. It doesn't matter with inflation, what's going on in the world. You have a set payment every month, where you're renting, your rent can increase. So,
right, and they are increasing right now at a very high rate. Yeah.
And with a mortgage payment, when you own real estate, your values are always, increasing. So like we were just discussing, we've seen significant amounts of home prices and equity. I mean, substantial amounts. It's nuts. And so you could take advantage of that, like a lot of people are right now, where, they bought a house 2 years ago and they suddenly have $150,000 in equity. What are they doing, Darren? They're refinancing, they're pulling cash out, and they're paying off all the debt, right? Or
like I said last week, we had a customer that was saying she wanted to buy a second home, or actually it was an investment property, and she said, I don't care about the rate, I just want to know what the payment is. That's smart, because she wants to see what her cash flow is going to be on this investment.
Yep.
If you're paying $2,300 a month rent right now, which it might be low in some areas.
That's low, right?
Yeah, but you can get a house for $2,100 or maybe $2,500, even if it's a little more than what you're renting.
Yeah, even if it's more, you own it. You're building equity. You're building your own wealth, right?
Right.
Instead of building someone else's wealth, you're building your own.
Yeah. In fact, I was looking at a chart that I had done the other day, where if they were to say buy a home right now, and let's just say their payment was $2,100 a month, but they were renting for $2,330. A lot of people say, "Oh, I can't afford that $200 a month." But if you look at rent increases after 9 years, they could be in $4,000 a month, right?
Yeah.
Whereas your monthly P&I, or your principal and interest, is going to stay the same.
Right. And a house is a tangible asset. You can tap that equity, right?
And the difference between that cash flow from buying it and then 9 years renting it, just the payments alone, is almost $60,000 that you were thrown away.
Isn't that crazy?
And that doesn't count the appreciation you could have got on your home, which, let's just say it's like, gosh, I don't know, it's 10%, okay, year over year. You would have gained $231,000 in equity.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I just bought my home last March and had it appraised, and it appraised for what, $105,000 more than what it did last March.
Wow.
Crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, and that's not the thing too. That's not one off. That's very common.
Yeah.
In the Vancouver area, I was, like I was saying to you before, when we moved here from Hawaii a couple of years ago, say 3 years ago, we were looking for a place just to rent temporarily. I could probably find a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a nice yard and everything, a house, for right around $1,800 a month. And I thought, wow, that seems a little high, but we keep looking, we waited. Well, those same properties now, when I look them up, they're like $2,800 a month.
Isn't that crazy?
So it is. Now, if I had bought a house at that time, and let's say as an example, my payment was only $1,800 a month, holy cow, I could still afford it.
Exactly.
And I'd own it.
Yep.
Hey, we're gonna be right back with Realtors Escrow and
Mortgage.
Oh my.
And we are back.
5-5.
We are back with Realtors, Escrow, and Mortgage, and
oh my.
Darren Peck.
Yeah, I'm actually remote today. We're doing the show I'm doing the show from home today, which is a little weird, but had to have a little surgery Friday that keeps me off my feet, or 1 foot, I should say.
We're just going to call you 1 foot from now on.
Well, they were
No,
trying
no,
to
no, no.
inject.
I don't even want to hear it. I don't want to hear about it.
No, no, no.
No.
They were trying to put awesomeness in me to give me a shot of awesomeness, but I was already over full.
Oh boy. Oh
Oh,
boy. See, I should have worn my
full of
cowboy boots today.
full of something. Let me tell you.
Not even in
So,
the same
anyways,
room.
we were we were talking about rents versus buying, and
Right.
we can kind of end that segue with this. I would say, from my standpoint, from the mortgage standpoint, boy, now I would, in my own opinion,
Yeah.
right, and
Yeah.
check with your financial advisor. You'd be so much smarter to buy right now in this market than to try to wait this out. I don't think
Absolutely.
it's gonna, you're gonna miss it, guys, and you don't want to miss it. And prices are still pretty reasonable. There's more homes that are available. Call Rebecca definitely if you're thinking about buying a home. And wait a minute, how do they get a hold of you?
You can call me at 503-269-0747, or you can go to my website, RebeccaScottHouses.com.
And what would they call you when they call?
I've been called many things, so probably Rebecca.
Probably not as bad as what I've been called. So we're good there. But hey, we started a new segment a while back that we've kind of skipped back and forth because like last week we kept running out of time. We weren't watching the clock.
Right.
But did we? I was going to check with you. Did we get a Pony Express mailbox question of the week this week by
We did.
chance?
Yes.
My goodness.
Did you see my email?
I did see it, but I was trying for our listeners to set that up for you.
Oh, we
So,
did. We got a question
yes.
from Joan in Salem.
Joan in Salem.
Yes.
What's up? All right.
Did you say
What-
what's up?
I said, what's up? Yeah, that's it. That's a mortgage thing. That's what we all do. You just don't see it, so here's going on.
Okay.
What did Joan want? What was Joan's question for us?
Joan is thinking of selling her home, and
Okay.
she's curious to know if paying that real estate commission fee is actually worth it. She feels like maybe she would save and make more money if she did not hire a real estate agent.
No. My answer to that is no. But go ahead.
So, it's a great question, Joan, and we're seeing this a lot. But homeowners think they can make more money if they don't hire a real estate agent. But what we're seeing is they don't know their true value because, like we were just discussing, we've seen such great appreciation over the last couple of years that, they're just going to Zillow or they're going to Redfin and they're like, oh, okay, that seems like a fair price.
that looks like my house. Yeah.
I'll put my home on the market for XYZ. When in reality, you're leaving thousands and thousands, sometimes upwards of 20,000 or more on the table. And had you
Right.
actually hired a professional such as myself, you would have saved, you would have made more money, not saved, but you would have made more money if you would have hired a real estate professional and sold it, listed it, had it on the market, had it in the MLS, had open houses, probably would have had multiple offers.
And that's after paying the commission.
That's after paying the commission. Yeah. I do this. We have buyers and we can't find them a house. And I do this religiously. I'll send out mailers. I'll send out postcards. I'll door knock. I'll make cold calls.
Right.
And sometimes the seller has not thought about, maybe selling their house. And they're willing to meet with you. Sometimes brokers will, they'll not be totally honest and they'll just try to get your listing and say they have a buyer. I always make sure I have a pre-approval letter when I'm, door knocking. But it's so important to meet with a real estate agent, a trusted real estate agent. Look at the reviews. Go on Zillow, read Google, look at their website.
Totally, yeah.
What have they done? Because if you're doing a FSBO, you are 100% not making as much money as you should be.
What's a FSBO?
FSBO is for sale by owner.
I know we get in there. Well, here's the other thing too, guys. And I can tell you this from the lending side. I see these come in too, and and I always ask, do you have a realtor? And even if you don't know where to start looking for a realtor, talk to me. I work with hundreds of them. I can tell you who good realtors are. I'd give you Rebecca's number 100%. Maybe you're buying in Seattle. I know somebody in Seattle you can call. We know what's right and what's wrong when it comes to these transactions.
Yeah, it's
I
important.
I've seen so many of those for sale by owners fall apart.
Yep.
It's just, you really want a professional, just like you don't cut your own hair, right? Well, I know some people that
I
do, and
know
I
some
won't mention
people
their
that
names.
do.
Yeah, I
Yes,
won't mention
but
names, but
right. You want
right?
to
You
make
want to
sure
have somebody
that
do it.
right. You want to make sure that you're maximizing and getting the most amount of money to put into your pocket, that you can. That's your nest egg, so to speak. Right?
Yeah, and we as professionals, we go to school for this stuff, guys. Those tests are
Yes.
not easy. I mean, we have to study. We have to do so many hours. We've got to go into legalities.
Yep.
I mean, how many times have you yourself, Rebecca, had a property that somebody wants to buy, and you notice there's a legal problem there somewhere that nobody saw? Have you ever caught that?
Yes. Most of the time, title will
Yeah,
catch it, but yes. Yep.
right. And if you're not in this business, you wouldn't even understand the verbiage they're using. So, somebody who deals with this every day, they're like, oh, we just need to do this, 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 and they can help you.
Well, and
It's worth every penny.
it's worth every
It
penny,
really
and there's
is.
so many steps to. You can't just take photos with your iPhone and throw it on Zillow. I mean, you can, but like we were just
There's
talking
some
about, you've
realtors
got
there.
one shot to make a good impression. And there are real estate agents out there that will use their phone, which shame on them, honestly, because you're paying them a commission to sell your home, and
Yeah.
they won't hire a professional photographer.
Well, is it
So
part of your
important.
commission to pay for the marketing? Isn't that right?
It's part of your commission to pay for the marketing, but there's so many brokers that just don't do that. So that's why I said it's
Right.
important to don't just hire somebody that knocks on your door and says, "Hey, I have a buyer looking at your home. They're interested. I'm only going to charge you 2.5%, for a commission fee."
Right.
Don't do that. Look them up, look at their reviews, and then interview other brokers.
Boy, that's some good advice from Rebecca Donaldson. We'll be right back with Realtors, Escrow, and Mortgage.
Oh my.
Bye.
5 and
All right.
we're
Yeah.
back.
Mine's not, I don't have that cool number at the end of mine. So, hey, I want to share with you with this minor surgery I had. I have to use a cane, and I got myself a Realtors, Escrow, and Mortgage horn for my cane. Listen.
Oh,
That's for all those other loan officers to get out of the way. I'm coming through.
oh my gosh.
So it's actually a little sumo wrestler on there.
You're like the
Well,
corniest
come on,
person I ever known.
you got to customize, right? I'm going to customize it. So, because canes are really boring. Well, I mean, they're good for, getting people that need a cane upside the neck. But anyway, hey, I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about, you were talking about a lot of people don't want to pay the commission. And I
Right.
totally get that. I
Yep.
totally get that. Because before I was in this industry, I was one of those people who'd be like, well, why do I want to pay that guy a commission? I can go hammer a sign in the ground. What's the big deal? Right?
Well, sure. But the
Um,
other thing to remember is, especially with myself, I'm a Homes for Heroes partner. So
Right.
if you're a firefighter, EMS, law enforcement, healthcare professional, teacher, you need to speak with me because you'll receive a reward when you buy and sell with me from Homes for Heroes. And that's a significant reward. So far this year, I've already donated over $40,000 of my commission to Homes for Heroes.
Holy moly.
That's a
Hey,
lot
what
of money.
about are loan officers considered heroes? Do we get rewarded?
Loan officers are part of the program. I don't know if you're any of those.
No, if I'm a client, are you going to give me a reward if I get something? No.
I don't understand your question, Darren.
Well, you got it for law enforcement, and you got everybody else.
Oh,
the
you
loan
want to know if
officers get in
loan
that group.
officers are heroes? No.
Yeah, they should.
No, you are not.
We never get anything cool.
You're such a
well.
whiner today.
I know. Well, it's probably the medication.
Can we
But
start
anyways,
over?
I was, yeah, really. That's something I want to bring up too. Again, I hate to keep harping on hiring a professional realtor, but in all honesty, it's not just the laws you guys know, how to write a contract, how to sell the home, how to represent a buyer. It's the connections you guys have.
Yeah, we have a
Because
ton of connections.
Heck yeah, what if I need a new roof? You know somebody who would do a roof?
Yep.
What if I need somebody to do landscaping? You know somebody who could do landscaping?
Landscaper. I have general contractor in my back pocket. I can make a phone call and make it happen.
Right. That's
Yes.
another advantage of you working with a professional.
Yeah.
And as we always say, Rebecca,
Who you hire truly matters.
truly matters.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that's really probably the most important thing is you really want somebody who's going to be in your corner, who's going to cover for you. They're going to, and you and I, we're friends with I think every single person we've ever worked with, you
Yeah.
know,
I mean, we
we
just
even got invited to a
yeah,
barbecue.
we just got
Yeah.
invited to Mike and Carrie's barbecue for her graduation party.
Oh, I totally want to do that too. That would be so much fun.
We record our show that
Um,
day, so we'll have to figure that out.
why don't we just record it at their barbecue? Yeah. Oh
I
boy.
mean, if you want to pay our production team to come out there, oh boy,
I think we're gonna have to do the show first and then go out to the
that's
barbecue.
what I thought.
No, I mean seriously though, we really do enjoy working with who we work with, and if you want to reach us, my phone number is 503-967-5257, and your number is
503-269-0747.
yeah. We get really busy too. So when you call, like if you get our voicemail or whatever, you can't reach us right away. Don't give up. We're probably going to call you right back. We're just usually on the phone. I know a lot of people will call, and if somebody doesn't answer the first time, they start looking on Zillow. I'm like, don't do that. I'll call you back.
No, if I have a missed call, I'll typically text somebody. Hey, I missed your call. I'm with clients. I'll call you as soon as I'm done. That's what I
Right,
do.
exactly.
Yeah.
Or you send one off that says you're off doing hot girl stuff.
I don't send that to
I know.
clients. Stop.
I get. Oh,
stop
see, I do get privilege.
Stop using my line. I haven't sent that in months.
Well, if I said I was out doing hot girl stuff, I probably would never hear from them again. So anyway, hey, I got a question.
Oh boy.
What's the one type of home that people look for this time of year more than anything else when it starts heating up?
What's the one type of home?
Yeah, what area do they look?
You mean where are they flocking to?
Oh, yes, that is exactly what I meant.
They flock to the beach. They are headed to the coast.
Careful how you say that flock thing.
Why?
So, well, if you say it 10 times fast, no, don't do that. But yeah, you were saying to me earlier that as far as where people start looking, that can shift too, depending on weather, time of year, and
Yeah, so this is the
what's
time
going
of the
on.
year where people flock over to the beach. They're headed over to the coast. So I have some fun
Astoria.
facts. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the top 5 coastal communities. This is data that was gathered from the Portland Business Journal throughout last year. So this is the top 5 communities in 2021.
I'm gonna guess. I'm surprised that more people. Well, Lincoln City is kind of a busier area, but around Lincoln City is pretty cool.
Lincoln City's busy, but can you guess how many closed sales there were for the coastal area just last year in Oregon?
I would even okay. Let's say in Oregon, the whole coast.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess 900.
4,112 closed sales last year alone.
Oh, holy cow!
Which is a 10.3% increase more than 2019.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yep. The
it's true.
So this is where we go back to talking about equity in your home and why you should buy real estate and stop renting. The average median sales price on the coast, which is typically a tougher market, it takes homes longer to sell over there. But the median average price rose 41.5% over those 2 years.
Dang.
Since the pandemic.
I have a client right now. They've been looking for a coastal property that they want to have as like a second home, or mostly they want it for a rental, right?
Yeah.
So they were kind of thinking in terms of doing like the VRBO or Airbnb, but they were having a hard time finding something that they really liked. And I just got this call on Friday. They said, I think what we want to do instead is we just want to get an investment property because the time is right and we want to have that cash flow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So people are starting to understand that. And you're right. I'm getting more and more calls. They want to take equity out. Yes, the rates might be higher than what they currently have, but it makes more sense because the cash flow can be outstanding.
Right. So these coastal homes, they sold pretty rapidly at an average median of 11 days, 75% faster than in 2019.
Man, you think that's because of the lack of inventory or just because of the actual,
people were in
people everybody just
lockdown.
flocking?
People in lockdowns, they want to get out. They need a place to escape to. It's hard to, when it's locked down, you can't do the Airbnbs. They shut it down.
Yeah, no kidding. That was a big hit too.
Yeah.
A lot of people took a hit there. Well, and but not just being locked down, but everything you can do stuff from home now, like I'm doing right now, actually. Instead of having to go into your office and do meetings there, they really took advantage of all the software and the different types of things you
Yeah,
can do on the internet now.
sure. Yep.
Which do you prefer, working from home or working from an office
Actually, I like
in
working from
person?
my home office.
I do too. I think I get more done here. It used to be the other way around. You work from home and you get distracted real easily. Me, I don't get distracted, but
I don't know
you know what
what
I'm
color
saying.
the skies are in your world today, but you are always distracted.
I'm just observant. I'm watching
No,
everything,
no.
squirrel.
Yes.
So,
All right, let's
and by
talk
the
about
way,
number. Yes.
never mind. I was going to get distracted again. You go
Okay.
right ahead.
All right, the number 5 most popular city on the Oregon coast last year. Can you guess?
Ooh. I want to say Cannon Beach, maybe.
Nope. Which I thought actually,
Really?
I thought Cannon Beach would be in the top 3 because that's my favorite. I love Cannon Beach.
Me too. That's where they filmed the Goonies, right? Isn't
No,
that the one where they did the Goonies with a haystack? I think it is.
I don't
Yeah.
know. It was either there or
Anyway,
Pacific City. I don't know. But
Pacific City's pretty
Pacific
cool too.
City's number 5. We've got 1 minute. Stop interrupting me.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Well, we have
Pacific
another
City.
segment, don't we?
Pacific City, 41 homes sold in 2021. The median sales price, can you guess?
I'm going to say 650.
595,000.
Ooh, that's not bad. I was close.
That's not
Okay.
bad for Pacific City. Median days on market, 8.
What's another one that is the a popular place?
Number 4 is Manzanita.
Ooh, I
Six,
like Manzanita too.
I've never been to Manzanita, so now it's
That's
on my
actually a really
list.
cool town. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, 65 homes sold. In 2021 median sales price 735,000.
Wow.
Median
That's
days
gone
on
up.
market 10.
Okay. And
Where's
then what's the
Manzanita?
last one? Manzanita is north of Lincoln City. It's more like if you went to Astoria and went south, it's more in that area.
Oh, it's surprised I've
Yeah,
never been
nice
there.
place. Great breakfast place there. But
Okay.
anyway, all
Number
right. What
3.
else?
Number 3 is Bandon.
Bandon, that's where my best friend lives. Cool.
Guess how many homes were sold in Bandon last year alone?
There's not, I don't know. I would say maybe 100? I don't know.
168 homes sold.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's not a
Median
huge
sales
area.
price 453,000. Median days on market 9.
That's still affordable.
Yeah.
You know, Bandon's got a really good golf course down there too, I think, and there's state parks and stuff. That's a nice area.
I haven't been to Bandon in years. Isn't that where the little
Yeah.
that petting zoo is or something?
I don't know. I haven't been down there in years
I
either.
think there's a
But I know
petting
my
zoo
best
there.
buddy lives down there. I'm supposed to go visit him. So what else? What's another one?
Well, we will talk about it more when we come back from our break.
Rebecca Donaldson. You know what?
I know a lot.
I know, but I just want to tell you that it's time for the final segment of Realtors, Escrow, and Mortgage.
Finally.
Where's the oh my?
Oh my. This has been
Oh man, you missed your
This
cue.
has been quite the show.
It has. I got to tell you, I was looking out my window here as I suffer in silence, and I noticed we have. I don't know if I told this before, but I've never seen this before. We have a family of albino squirrels. When I was kidding around saying squirrel, that actually live in the trees out here. If
Oh my
you've never seen one, it's the weirdest thing ever. They're huge, and they're just
Albino
completely
squirrels.
white.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're a whole family of them. Weird. Maybe they probably just went to their, they wanted to hang around their own kind, so
I
they found
think
my house.
Darren took a pain pill in the middle of the show. Now he's hallucinating.
No, I said squirrel, so now I'm looking.
Oh man.
I'll send you a picture.
No,
Well, we were just
I'm
talking
good.
about how. Yeah, you don't get me drinking. So one of the things we were just talking about was how this time of year, the summertime, warmer times, that people in the Northwest tend to flock towards the coastal
Yes.
area and they buy a lot of homes. I'm actually really surprised on some of those that you were talking about in that last segment. Like for Manzanita, I thought it would have been a higher median price. I really did.
I've
I
never
mean, a
been
lower
there,
one.
so I'm not
Sorry,
familiar
lower.
with that area. I don't know what the area is like.
Pacific City's really cool. There's a girl I went to high school that lives there, and we went out that way. We went to Neskowin to the Ghost Forest Beach last year, and we went up to see where she had lived. And Pacific City's kind of a cool little. It's a very small town, but it's very pretty.
We're gonna do a comparison here. So I've got market updates, and we're gonna focus on these 5 cities. So
Okay.
okay,
So what about Depot Bay?
number 2 was Depot Bay. There were 56 homes sold in 2021. The median sales
not very many.
price was 597,500, and the median days on market was 7.
Wow, only 56 homes. That's where all the Dungeness grabbers go
Yeah.
out, isn't it? Right there,
Yeah.
Depot Bay. Yeah. Boy, if you want fresh seafood, that's the place to go, folks.
The number 1 coastal town in 2021 doesn't surprise me. It's not
There we go.
it's not my favorite at all. I don't like it. Is Seaside.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not my favorite either.
303 homes sold. Median sales price 516,500. Median days on market 9.
303 homes. Wow.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
It is for Seaside.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not a bad place. We're not
it's
knocking
okay.
Seaside.
I don't get up
Yeah.
on a Sunday morning and go, "Oh my gosh, I can't wait to get to Seaside." I do that with Cannon
What?
Beach, not
I
Seaside.
thought everybody did that.
No, Seaside's okay. It's not bad. We don't have an ugly coastal town. Let's be honest. It's just not my favorite.
No, not at all. Yeah, all these towns are cool. Have you ever been to Rockaway?
Yeah, I showed houses down there.
That's kind of a cool. That's a very small town, but that's kind of a neat place too.
Yeah, don't blink. You'll drive right through it.
Oh, totally.
All right,
But
so
there's
let's.
Cannon Beach, Astoria,
let's,
Long Beach. You know,
Darren,
irrelevant.
Darren, quiet.
What? Hello? What? Or were we?
Darren,
Okay,
Darren,
go ahead.
quiet.
Okay.
Okay, so the number 5 city last year was Pacific City, and we talked about how the median sales price was $595. Guess what it is
Right.
now?
I have no idea.
839,000.
Whoa! Now that's an increase. Wow! Really?
Yep.
How many homes have been sold there? Do we know for this year? How many homes?
I don't
have
know
been
how
sold?
many homes have been sold this year, but there's only 3 on the market currently.
Well, they only sold 41 homes last year, so it could be that maybe a couple of really big ones sold or something.
I don't know. Manzanita. So Manzanita
You could
last year, median sales price 735,000. Guess what it is now?
What?
910,000.
That is just crazy to me.
See, this is what I'm talking about, folks. You
could've made
renters
a lot
out
of money.
there need to be listening. Equity,
Mhm.
equity, equity.
And that's not saying that all these houses are 900,000. You can still find great
No,
bargains.
that's a median.
Yeah.
Median sales
Right.
price.
All right, just
Bandon.
want to make sure people understand that.
Bandon.
Bandon, this will be good. All right, Bandon.
Median sales price $453,250. Guess what it is now? This is
Okay,
you won't even believe this one.
it was 653.
No. Higher.
Higher?
Yep.
850. 850.
1,202,000.
Oh my God, that's a huge
I
increase.
should have bought a house in
That's
Bandon.
more than
Oregon.
100%. Yeah, no kidding. We should have bought the whole town.
Yep.
Wow, that's insane.
Okay, now this next
That's
one
wow.
is extremely interesting to me, and I want to do a little bit more research on it just to figure out why.
Okay.
So clearly everybody's in a seller's market, right?
Right.
Depot Bay median sales price for last year was $597,500.
Right.
Guess
Which I
what?
think is low, but
Guess what it is now?
750.
309,000. It's going backwards.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I would have thought Depot Bay would have been like one of the most impressive areas. You'd see a lot more sold there just because of the tourist industry there for
Yeah.
like crabbing and things like that.
And there's only 5 houses on the market.
You got to look into that.
I know.
That's strange.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we say, it could be maybe somebody sold a garage last month and it was only 150. I don't know.
A lot of things
But
will
that's-
play into that, I'm sure, but I do want to check
Oh,
that
yeah.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that on one of our next shows. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Seaside.
Seaside is got to be gone up, I'm sure.
Seaside median sales price last year $516,500. Guess what it is this year?
I'm still thinking Seaside's really popular. I'm gonna say,
I know why.
I don't know, 750. Let's see, we'll go right in the middle.
No.
Higher,
No.
lower. Okay, 675.
649,000. Still good.
Yeah,
From
it didn't go
five-
up as much as Manzanita or Bandon. Bandon's the one that's blowing me away.
Bandon's
a
nuts.
million. That's
1.2.
crazy.
Yep. Isn't that crazy?
You know what? That really, I mean, I could see why my best friend moved there now.
I mean, what?
Bandon, Oregon. I never in a million years would have guessed that when you said that. I'm usually off because I'm not in your business of knowing, values, which again is another reason why you need to hire someone like Rebecca, because they know the values. They can find out values very quickly.
Yeah, and there's 14 homes on the market in Bandon right now.
That's just, I still can't get over the increase. The one that's strange though is that Pacific City. Not Pacific
Depot
City.
Bay.
I'm sorry,
Depot Bay.
Yeah, that's really surprising because that's a pretty big drop.
Yeah, I want to check into that. Yep, and there's 5 houses on the market right now.
Do you have any clients that are actively looking in that area right now on the coast?
I don't. I had some.
Well,
clients,
we need to get you some.
I know. I had clients 2 years ago. They moved here from Florida that were actively looking. I would leave my house at 8 a.m. and not get home till like 10 o'clock at night. We would drive up and down the coast looking at houses, and then they ended up in Westland.
And I got to tell our listeners this. Like I said, I work with hundreds of realtors. You're one of the very few that will actually go to the coast. I just recently have had 2 different realtors who had buyers ready to go, pre-approved, which is not a commitment to lend. And they were going to head out they wanted to go look at this house on the coast. They both turned them down and gave them to somebody else.
I love
and
the
I know I have to drive out. I'm like, hey, let's go hit Tillamook too and get some cheese and ice cream, But yeah, okay. So here's my question.
All right.
Probably smarter right now, if you're looking at coastal properties, to contact Rebecca than it would be to wait until like July or August.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because everybody's going to be looking then, right?
Everybody's going to be looking then. Yep, for sure.
Are you still seeing multiple offers coming in, or has that slowed down a bit?
Oh no, in Salem, no, it's slowed down quite a bit.
Yeah, I think it has up in that Portland area too.
Not as.
Oh
severe.
My gosh. Speaking of severe, there's our cue. We'll be back next week with Realtors, Escrow, and Mortgage.
Oh my,
that was a good one.